Okay, so let's say that you've got a big event coming up, whether it's your club or city championship, you've got a big game against some friend of yours, you got qualifying school, the PGA Tour, or just a big member guest coming up, whatever it is. So many people do it ass backwards, and that they will take their lesson, let's say a couple days before or a week before their big event, and then they'll expect to play great. But where you get into problem is your brain gets crisscrossed into thinking swing because you just had your lesson versus thinking play, and that is two completely different things. So we work with what's known as periodization of training. So how you practice in order that you can peak, your game can peak at the absolute perfect time. So the best way to do that is, let's say for example that you have a club championship coming up and it's 6 weeks away. All right, so you would take your lessons 6 weeks in advance, and let's just say for example you were working on the plane of your swing. Okay, so you would have a station somewhat like this. You're going to get your alignment correct, you're going to get your ball position correct, and you're going to have something like this or whatever exercise is you're working at, so that you can maintain that your club stays on plane on the takeaway and then on the downswing and into your finish. All right, your first 7 to 10 days, remember we're 6 weeks out, you would focus 75% or more of the time that you dedicate to working on your game to exercises only. Okay, and then you would dedicate, let's say 25% or less of your time to on-course work, because you can't give up playing completely. We still want to keep that portion of your brain working. Okay, the next 10 days would be, you would knock it down to, let's say 50% of your time would be spent on your range with all your different clubs, working on your exercise or your plane drill, your ball position drill, your alignment drill, and then half of your time would be spent on the golf course. The third set of 10 days, so we're in our 30th day, you would change that to where you're working only 25% of your time spent is working on the range, on your exercises, and now 75% or more of your time is spent on the course. So now we're getting into more of the implementation of the exercise that you just done. Okay, and then the last week leading into the tournament, you're going to have 90% to 99% of your time is going to be spent on the golf course, so that your mind is back to playing mode and not thinking and analyze mode. So again, if we have 6 weeks leading in, that's about 40 to 42 days. The first 10 days you're going to spend all in an analytical mode, and that you're going to do, most of your time is going to be spent on exercises on the range with a little bit of time spent on the golf course. The second 10 days you're going to spend half the time on your exercises in analytical mode, half your time in play mode. The third 10 days you're going to spend about 25% of your time in analytical mode and more of your time in play mode. And then the last week and leading into the tournament, you're spending almost all of your time on the golf course. And by that time, the exercises and the drills that you were doing should be fully implemented and ingrained into your mind and your game, so that you're not having to consciously think about them, and you're playing golf, you're not playing swing. So that's just a simple example of what we do when we periodize someone's practice program. It doesn't matter whether if they're a novice golfer, if they're a semi-accomplished or a club champion, or if they're playing on a professional tour around the country. But we specialize a program to each individual, not only on their time period and when we want their games to peak and when we want to gear it down, but also on how they learn. So if you want to know more about that, send us a message or comment below. If you want it in a private lesson, a half-day school, or a multi-day school, we'll be happy to help you. As always, thanks for watching. Hey everybody, Pete here from the Golf Paradigm. Thanks for watching the video. You can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you want to watch more videos or subscribe, you can do it right here.